Hey everyone, welcome to Vivid Vybe tonight. I feel so weird sitting right here, y'all. This your girl, Miss Lovely Chanel. I'm glad y'all joining us tonight. Right across from me is the beauty, Misha.
Hello.
And hello. The left of me is Dale is back in the building tonight, y'all.
Yay.
What on, people?
Yes, and,
What up,
He's
Dale?
there.
and
What's up,
who's,
Gary?
and who's our handsome guest?
Hey.
Ooh, sexy voice.
Hey.
Do it again.
What's up,
Wow.
good people? This is G Hawkins
Yes.
in the building from the Sphere Podcast Network. Just having a good time with good people.
What's going on,
Let's
bro?
do it, man. You all right?
Yes.
I'm chilling.
You better warm up over here. You talking
I'm
about
tired,
you chilling.
man.
Right?
I literally just
Let me know what you
need.
need.
Shit, y'all gotta give me a chance to wake
I
up.
know.
Wake up.
I just came from Memphis.
You.
Give me a break.
Oh, okay.
Let's get this show started.
We popping. What we-
Before we start, let me say this: you guys did an amazing job last week.
Amazing.
I loved it. I loved the
Amazing.
show.
Nigga, you better get.
good.
We did a damn good job last week.
Thank you. Shout out to
works.
Toy
That works.
and Christina
Yeah.
for coming on the
Shit.
show.
Appreciate
Shout out
the
to
guests
Toy
that
and
came
Christina.
on.
Right?
They
Shout
did
out
good.
to
Woman empowerment around
Responsive
this
to the
bitch.
audience, you know. If that's the type of energy you're on, I
Oh,
see what
sorry.
you're getting at. But, you know, I just want to
Had to
let
be
you guys
gangster
know
with
that
it.
I was proud of what I seen last week.
Oh, thank you. You were so sweet.
Whatever. Go ahead.
Yes. Guess what? What's vibing, y'all?
What's vibe?
Was vibing.
Yeah.
Yay. Y'all heard about Jamal? Okay, Empire.
Oh.
His name?
Fucking clown, man.
Yo. So,
Yeah, you-
shall
Yeah.
I ahead?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Let,
Please.
let Gary
Somebody-
start it
Gary,
off.
go ahead.
So let me
Shit,
just give it
'cause-
a buck,
Yes.
right? Jesse Smollett, a.k.a.
Jamal.
Mr. I didn't, I may have gotten beat up. I may not. Mr. Now I'm sitting my ass in jail right now. Like, it's a very interesting situation because
sad.
we can look at it from both perspectives. First and foremost, what did he have to gain by lying? And then
Right.
secondly, what does the police have to gain by framing him, right? So it depends on what side of the fence you sit on. And I don't feel like I have all the facts. Whether he's in jail and been indicted, whatever the case is, you're still innocent until proven guilty. And at the same time that we've seen all the shenanigans and shit, and it looks like, yo, you did this,
Yes.
we're still dealing with a police force who allowed Chicago to be what it is today, right? As far
Yes.
as the dichotomy of certain areas on the south side of Chicago versus north side. We're still dealing with police force who have, abused African Americans over time, who have falsified evidence and done all kind of other shit. So while on one hand I want to say this man is guilty, I have to look at this police force and say that they've never been innocent. So
Facts.
where do I stand with that?
But he
Right.
turned his own self in.
Had to.
You
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
just
Once
not-
they
Exactly.
put it out there that they looking for you,
Yeah.
to save your own ass, you gotta.
Yeah.
You know what? Why he was like the sacrifice for Empire? You
What?
know, like, because Empire wasn't really hot last season. Nobody was really watching it.
I don't even.
So they
watch it.
needed somebody to like do some dumb shit to start watching the show again.
Man.
And he did
Well,
some
that's a
dumb
dumb
ass
reason
shit.
I-
to,
I-
to do
he
that.
said he
just,
did it to,
you know,
make his career.
But in
off,
a
you know?
sense, now when he said that, I read some of it. Y'all know how I am with this. I'm so F the culture right now.
Yeah.
I
yeah,
just
he really is.
man, look, whatever reason he decided to do this dumb shit, you didn't win.
Right.
Again, here it is, another slap in the face for our culture.
Mm.
I
Again,
tell
and
you.
then with it being in Chicago, it doesn't help that you still got this R. Kelly shit going on.
Exactly.
And then now you got this. And then now they got evidence, his brother and them in the store buying ski masks, all this shit.
Right.
I don't know what he would have gained from it. I don't really care. This just goes to show how stupid we are.
Exactly.
And it's like at this point, like, when are we going to learn?
No, I mean,
Never.
but here's the thing: we're not monolithic, right? We're
Facts.
different. Look at where we're sitting at, what we're doing right now, in comparison to what he did, right?
Right.
So we're all on our own different paths and
Absolutely.
journeys. So, and once again, I won't presume that this guy is guilty until all the facts have came out, because I think that's the way we should be. We should hold everybody accountable, and at
Yes.
the same time, let's not jump to conclusions.
Oh,
The
yeah.
shit looks bad.
Oh, it
But
do.
let's make sure we get
It
all
look
the facts
bad.
out.
Look bad on
I
us.
th-
Yeah.
How he did it? Like it was two white. First off, the first story was he was two white men came to him and like, hey, you that faggot from Empire,
Yeah,
you
that was
know,
crazy.
and make American great again, and blah blah blah.
Mhm.
And found out it was not even white man, so they was trying to make it a race matter. Then
Yeah.
But look at too the thing that happened with the little girl Jasmine Barnes, like
yes,
with the
exactly.
shooting.
That's the little girl that got
yeah,
killed.
the
right?
little girl that got see.
Yes,
You're like trying to remember what it was.
yes,
Like at first they said it was
So-
white. It was a white man
in a red
that-
truck.
A red truck. Come to find out, he was trying to get away because he was seeing they were shooting,
Yes,
and it was gang related. But now you don't really hear anything
you don't hear
about
nothing.
it.
You heard it was a black on black crime type thing.
And that's
So
some
once
bullshit in
that-
itself.
It
Once
is.
it
That
said it was
was-
a black on black, they
I
just
don't
stopped
even-
about the whole situation.
I
So,
don't have I'm tired, Gary.
I hear you.
Not like tired physically. I'm just
Right.
every week it's just our culture, man. I'm tired of it. Like even with hip hop, and this is really to come off of boom bap. You know, I watch you guys before us
Well,
all the
appreciate
time.
that. Appreciate that viewership.
But you guys do hip hop so much. Like, why is it that our culture, our music, is the only one that does this? I don't mind y'all battling to see who the best artist. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But no other genre has these problems.
Okay.
Right.
So I
That's
can
true.
easily answer that.
I haven't heard anything.
So when you have genres, specifically hip hop, when hip hop started, you know, it was a people's movement. It was
Right.
an opportunity to get the word out of things that were happening socioeconomically, things that were happening in your environment, and people didn't have any other options, right?
Right.
So when the finance got behind it, when the money came in on hip hop side, you have to look at what got promoted and what didn't, and who was behind the promotion. So the dollar started following negativity, which then
Right.
fed to the DJs and everybody else, and the inspirational hip hop didn't get the push, the revenue by
Right.
those who were running the industries. The industries didn't look like the individuals who were doing the raps. So they decided, okay, we're gonna put money behind this shit, and that shit became shit. And then
Right.
you had gangster rap and all these other things that kept making money. The inspirational shit didn't, and that was by design.
But even with what you saying that, I feel like you say like gangster rap. Ice Cube is a great example. He rapped about what he seen,
Sure.
which is still an inspirational
Yeah,
music.
yeah.
But
Fuck the police.
right,
Yeah.
in
No
a
Vaseline.
sense, it's like I don't mind the whole, you know, with the Drake, Meek Mill, whatever artist you want to use. I don't mind it. I just feel like when it gets to a certain point or a certain level, it's like y'all for real.
Well,
To the
yeah.
point where the culture is losing. That's
Well,
really
yeah.
what I'm
Right.
getting at.
I agree.
We're
And-
constantly losing.
Yeah,
Right.
but
Shout out real quick to Mama Ames. You know, I got to say something to her. And then also,
Valen.
Valen made a very good point, too, saying, yes, very bad look for our culture. We just had a slap in the face with the
Blackface.
blackface Gucci incident,
yes,
yeah, and that's
Exactly.
bullshit too.
right?
I'm sorry.
I got my Gucci guilty on right now.
I mean, I don't even
I'm
wear
not
mine
gonna-
no more.
I'm not even
Yeah.
broke on
Okay.
that shit. Like,
I'll
fuck
be
it.
the devil's advocate on this one.
I might be right
So
beside your ass.
I have a question for everybody and viewers out there. You know, I had time to actually think about this. I'm just waiting on y'all to realize at what point did these white people ever make clothes for us?
Come on,
Mm-hmm.
we used to have burlap sacks.
I don't
and shit.
understand.
Exactly.
When FUBU came out, black people turned on FUBU. It was like, we're not wearing that. And I think it was FUBU, Tommy Hilfiger, Gap had just like started really getting big at that time.
Polo was big.
Polo was getting
Oh,
big.
Polo was real big.
Polo was real big at that time. And
Yeah,
Tommy Hilfiger.
everybody was wearing
So
polo.
what kills me is, what are y'all waiting on? So y'all think Burberry? I think Burberry just got hit.
Somebody
At
else
a
got
fashion
hit.
store, right?
Yeah, with the
Prada
news.
got hit with the
But-
little things that hang on your
But
purse.
this is my
Mm-hmm.
thing. Again, okay, here's one I don't know if everybody know. So why do women still wear Tiffany and Co? Do they not even realize what those chains resemble? What they mean? About how the chains are dealing with slavery and shit like that?
Shit, I don't wear it because I
But
can't get it.
but this is what I'm saying. Like,
It's
this
expensive.
is why I'm so like F
But I
the
got
culture.
you.
At what point? What the fuck? We playing victim for how many more years?
But that-
Like,
it's the power.
stop being blind.
Right.
It's hard though. I mean, and I'm not making an excuse, and I agree with you.
Fact.
First and
Right.
foremost, I agree with you. We're talking about systematic racism that's been built over time and
Facts.
the power of integration. When we were segregated, we had to do business with African Americans, right? You didn't have a choice. So guess what? The African American dollar stayed in our circle,
Right.
and that shit helped build wealth within African American communities.
Right.
The moment integration hit, then you could spend your money anywhere.
Right.
And guess what?
Exactly.
You want to go get shit that you're not supposed to have or you couldn't have. So you
That's
started
the
to go to
problem.
all these other places that
Right.
didn't like you, and then you turn on a FUBU, a Shun Jun, all these other things, and say, "No,
Rockefeller.
give me Gucci, Prada, Fendi, all this other bullshit."
Exactly.
Right.
But it really has no value
So
to the
y'all,
culture.
y'all buy
Amen.
Gucci?
No,
No, before this shit.
before
No.
no, I
Hell
never.
yeah.
I'm just
understood
curious.
why-
I'm
No.
curious. So
Yes.
you did.
Did
So
you?
let me ask
Yes.
you. How much?
Did
What'd
you?
you buy?
I bought mostly perfume. Say cologne.
Okay, the perfume.
Perfume,
That's
cologne.
I'll let that one slide.
And
the belts.
Gucci belts.
Never.
No,
I got
but
a
this is my
Gucci
thing.
belt.
Hermes,
So
never.
Yes.
my belt that I got on right now is probably like Family Dollar, $7.
Right.
It's a belt.
Hold my pants
It
up.
hold my pants up.
Mm-hmm.
So remember when Gucci came out? I wasn't against Gucci. I'm just like, it looked like carpet that just was like sewn together. You got 19 colors on one thing, and it's like, hey, let's go outside and wear it. Like, why?
Yeah.
I'm not fit to spend. If I'm fit to spend $500 on a belt, shirt, whatever, right?
That's crazy.
But see,
Right.
me being the type of individual that I am,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not against anybody else, but that $500 that you put into this Gucci belt could have invested.
Come on.
Right. Or you
This
could even
is
pay a
real
bill.
talk.
I
You
could have paid
like-
a few bills.
Me and it's no joke. Me and Toy had just had this conversation where we were going back and forth with ideas, and I was like, "Hey, let's go take care of all these LLCs, this, that, and the third,
Mhm.
and then let's jump on this." She was like, "Why you doing it first?" I said, "Let's go own our shit first, because what happens is black people get into these businesses,
Exactly.
and you want to own things." But then you're not taking care of yourself. The purpose of an LLC is to protect yourself from being sued. So if you
Exactly.
get sued, they cannot take anything from you personally.
Yep.
They can just
Exactly.
shut the company down.
Right.
And that goes all the way back to even with segregation, where at that time it's like you own your own stuff, but the fact we were losing patents, this, that, and the
Right.
third.
and a
and-
lot of times we giving them away.
Right,
Like
but
we
because
just
you don't know the stoplight, the ironing board, the curling iron. The list goes on, but we were
Right.
getting fucked over because you didn't know.
right.
I'm gonna
And
keep
you-
my
or
hair
you
short.
Right.
couldn't.
And I was telling you guys before about the hidden colors, the DVDs,
Right.
which I still need to get
I,
you out.
yeah, I told you I wanted to
Right.
watch that.
It's three films, and it talks about the stuff that we did, and how our culture all of a sudden now, like, people don't even know like exactly how much that we did for the culture.
I agree.
So it's powerful.
It's deep shit.
Very much so.
It's deep shit during this Valentine's month.
Y'all know I come out my hat, jacket,
Don't
everything.
switch
This
up on us
motherfucker,
like,
man.
what the
Man,
fuck?
it's hot.
Come back.
But what else was on What's Poppin'? You know, we spit that knowledge. I love when Gary on here.
I mean, I'm
Right.
just saying.
His intellect be
We
like,
talking
shit, I'm about to
Jamal
match
most
his.
of the
Like,
time.
what we
Right.
talking
Right.
about?
Talking
Yeah.
about Jamal, but
He
just
dumb. He another
Yeah,
L for the
so-
culture.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
Yeah. Might have to make
Don't
a
let
trade.
Bill Cosby do his hair or
But
dip
the
some
thing
peanut butter.
too,
whatever
like
the
the
fuck.
thing too, and we're in that age
Pudding.
of social media.
There you go.
You're gonna get caught. You're going
Absolutely.
to get. So why even?
Sidebar on a good note, Kaepernick got paid.
Yes.
Him and Eric Reed. I forgot to
Yes.
drop that in West Vybe.
Yes.
Yep.
That's
Yes.
a win for the culture
Right.
to
That
a
is a
certain
win. Shout out
extent.
to him.
The only
You know,
problem that I
I'm-
have is when you settle out of court, that means certain things you can
People
no
said he
longer
was a
talk
sellout.
about. How's he a sellout?
Um,
They're
got
paying
his
him.
money.
They're
Sellout.
paying him for
Oh.
being
no, I was
blackballed.
hearing that they were
Right.
saying, I don't
No,
care.
They
right.
is
No,
fucking.
he's
idiots.
getting paid
Right.
for
Like,
being
he's a
blackballed in the
sellout.
NFL.
He's a sellout
No,
for
that's
being a
really what
yeah.
the check was for.
He set precedent.
The problem
Right.
is
He can't go back.
they
to
went and
doing it.
signed Eric Reed, and he plays for my team. I'm a diehard Panther fan. They signed him to a 3-year contract, but he still got a piece of that $150 million.
And here we are.
That's still a win. But to us, they were like,
married.
well, this, that, and the third. Excuse me?
He married.
Who?
Eric.
I don't know.
Oh.
You married?
No, I'm not.
Huh?
I'm just saying.
Hold on.
Let you
new
need
baby.
some diapers.
Say, wait a minute.
That's hilarious.
Sidebar. No. What's,
You said
what
the-
was
you
what was
said
next on
dollar
What's
signs
Vibing?
and act like a ratchet
What
just
else?
now.
No, didn't say that.
I'm saying you said dollar sign. You said 100 million. What?
150.
Million?
150 million.
I've heard
Million?
numbers. I heard 80 million, and
I
so
heard
who
millions.
knows?
I don't
But
care.
you got to think about all the
It's more than
all the
income
people
tax.
that's in place.
Sure.
And then even if
Right.
he got paid 150 million, he not coming home with that lawyer
course not.
fees,
Taxes.
taxes, court fees.
Is he coming home with $10,000
I don't know.
income tax money? No. He's coming more than home with that. He can come home straight to me with that money.
This girl here. I missed y'all. What else we got,
just
Chanel?
saying.
What else, Chanel?
So last week, us ladies was talking about self-love. Last week was single ladies.
Oh, shit.
You know, do they have a single man song? Well, I'm a single man. Well, I'm a single man. Well, I'm a single man.
No.
No
Nah.
single man.
We just hold up the wall in the
Donnell
club.
Jones did it good. I
What?
feel like Donnell Jones, that
What
song.
song?
When you love someone, you just don't treat them
Oh,
bad.
yeah.
Oh, how I feel so sad.
Oh, so that's y'all single. So that's
That
y'all single
song.
man song?
I don't mean to hurt you, baby. Nah.
And then in the end,
That was like the best
and
song.
in the end,
He's like, I'm sorry. but that was a way of him saying, look, I don't want to mess you over.
I thought you were going to pick like a
just
Too
trying to,
Short
like,
song or
figure this
something.
shit out. So
Right.
I'm going to step away. But when that happens, he's still a dog-ass dude. So what y'all got for us? So we really just going to
So-
rebuttal off of what happened
so-
last week.
I'm going to start off with the question I asked the ladies last week. They was like, why y'all single?
first off, ask, are you single?
Are you single?
I am.
Okay. I mean, I don't want to
Him
have
single.
them on.
And you want to know?
Oh.
And you want to know why?
Why?
Selfish.
Selfish.
So let me just be honest. I think that I think we all can say we could have been in a relationship a long time ago.
Absolutely.
Right? I think everybody
Uh-huh.
can say those things, but there are times where you know what you want and you want what you want, and you're not willing to settle. There are times where things get close. You're very close to a relationship, and then you have to pivot for some reason or another. And at the end of the day, you still got to take care of self, because if self isn't happy in moving forward in
can't
this
be in a
relationship, you
relationship.
can't be in a relationship for somebody else.
So to back up what you said, that is why shooting this slug real quick. That's why Toy stuttered when it was like, "Are you single?" And she was like, "What defines single?
Right.
Like, are you single? Like, are you dealing with somebody single this, single that?"
I was
But
like, damn,
no,
I mean single. I
I'm
had to
just
put on
messing
my
with her. I've
list.
been messing with her for like a week. Every time it hits internet, I'm
Right.
answer the question to her. Nah, but in a
still
sense,
didn't get a
like,
straight answer.
all
It's not
no,
that
no,
easy,
all bullshit to
though.
the side though. Like, to say what he said, that's good because now he's not out here breaking girls' hearts, fucking
Okay.
over women, because he took the time out to say, you know what, let me deal with myself, because I can't love myself and then try to love somebody else. It's to me, it's fucking impossible,
Right.
because if I'm not happy within myself, how can I give you the best me if I'm not even the best me? If that makes sense.
I think that makes a lot of sense, and I'm not necessarily even going into that depth. I date and I enjoy dating, but what I am saying is that I'm not going to settle down just to settle down.
Right.
And I've got to have, and I use something I coined a while back called a 50-point matrix, that I actually put women in a rubric to figure out where they
shit.
are and how I feel
Okay.
about the relationship. Would y'all like to break that shit down?
That's
yes,
on you,
I would
man.
love to.
But before we
shout
start
out to
that, go ahead.
shout out to Princess first for saying if you're not married, you single.
That's a real
Well,
rap.
I
Right.
said
Shout out to
that.
Princess. Shit.
Very much
No,
so.
don't look at me like that. Don't.
No,
I never
I
said you
said-
was wrong. I never said you was wrong. Let's stop that shit right now.
I said that. Thank you, Princess,
Okay.
for clearing
That's
that
and
up.
that's
Yeah,
fine.
It is a fact.
Back
But-
to your normal.
Before you
Another
jumped out to
princess.
this, hey Gary, since you about to say what you say, you gotta come back next month or April for this battle of the sexes, because what you about to say
Yes.
Yeah.
is about to put the bar here, and I'm
who?
cool with that
For
because
who?
we want all the smoke.
You
Don't
want
get
the
it
smoke?
twisted.
Don't get this shit started now.
Nah, we
Who
not.
want
Y'all
all
gonna
the
go hold
smoke?
our battle on the
Don't
sexes
make
next
me-
month. We got guests in
Oh,
line.
I'll
Just
just
relax.
scoot out the way
But
and let
for
you
this, for that, before you start, I just want you to understand, for those men and women who don't have the intellect of what he about to put out there, do not get offended and do not try to jump down his throat because you don't understand the dynamics
you
of where he's
single.
coming from.
Yeah.
Now you can go there.
So here's the thing, and it's not that big of a deal. And for those that are tuned in right now, y'all listening to this shit on Spotify, or y'all watching this on YouTube or on Facebook Live, it's about being happy at the end of the day. You got to be happy with self. You got to be happy with the person you're with. And I use a point system when I'm dating and when I'm entertaining someone or going into a courtship, things like that. And it's based on the things we all want. And there are 5 principal things we want. We want someone who's sound educationally, right? Who can appreciate
one.
education. We want
Put your
someone
finger down, boy.
who's physically attracted
That's
to,
2.
that we're attracted to. We want someone who understands finances.
That's 3.
Right? We want someone who's spiritually grounded.
That's 4.
Amen.
And last but not least, you want someone who has a good psychological head on their shoulders.
That's 5 of them things.
Yeah, and the psychological encompasses both the emotion and the logical, right? So how I do this is I give points from 0 to 10, or from 1 to 10. 1 to 0 doesn't matter, but all the way up to 10. So 1 to 10, and 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. And then what I say is, once you've counted your points up in those categories for that person you're dating, then anything 40 and up, you should fucking marry that person. That's just what it is.
Okay.
Now, if you meet somebody and you're 30 to 39, you need to date with intention, right? So you dating with them, there's purpose behind that dating.
Okay. I'm
Anybody
feeling
like
that.
that's 20 to 29,
Just fuck
they're
them.
stuck in friend zone. Let's just keep it a buck. They're in the friend zone. It is what it is. And if you 19 or below, your ass should be ghosted. Let's just keep it all the way funky.
Loving
You should
this.
ghost
Yes.
that person.
This
Yeah.
that men's
Now,
perspective
I'm just
tonight.
saying.
Right.
So,
Shut the hell
so
up,
when
Dale.
you actually, if you take out a chart, you write your 5 categories, and you grade your people in those categories, I guarantee you, anybody you ever been in love with, anybody you ever just was fucking, they're gonna fall properly into those categories. That's
Okay.
what it is.
Right.
50-point matrix.
Let me ask you this.
Shout out to Gary.
Yeah, I'm
fact.
just
Let
dropping
me ask you
gems.
this. With-
Some don't know. This is
Don't,
my.
don't tell them. Don't need to know. Don't need to know how the sausage is made.
Right here, it ain't go with the plug. Now, but let me ask you this though: with doing that point system, is the woman aware that she's on a point system?
Well, I think we all are, right?
Right.
We're looking at who we're dating. We're grading them. We're all consciously
own
looking
way.
in our own
Yeah.
way.
Right.
I personally just break it down from a numerical perspective, because then I can say, oh shit, this person's in the 30s. I know where I need to be without having any guesswork, without
Right.
having to go back. And you all and keep in mind, this shit is dynamic. This shit changes.
So question.
Because people change.
So you have this one girl probably like in the 20s, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And but
So
she be
she's in
thinking,
friend zone,
She in a friend zone, but she want to be
higher than friend zone.
40.
She
We gonna
wants
turn
to.
her and
She
we
wants
gonna-
to be a 40.
She want to be a 40. She think in her head
But
she could be a 40.
Yeah, we all want to be a
Yeah,
40.
you know?
shit.
We gonna turn to her and say, "I'm sorry, chick, you just a 20."
No. So
Like-
you don't
No.
have direct conversations like that. But
I'm just
internally,
saying.
you know where you stand with this person, and you
Right.
should be honest. Don't leave somebody on and say,
Okay.
"Hey, we're friends right now.
Facts.
I'm dating other people. I enjoy your company, but hey, we're just friends. I'm not sure if I see this going anywhere." That's a very easy and honest way to say your ass is in the friend zone.
Yeah, because you
Cool.
can always take the route of meeting somebody and
See,
letting
it's
them
easy
know.
for y'all to say that, but us women can't get that.
Shit, y'all
But it's
just
not.
ghost
We
though.
don't.
No,
We don't do that to y'all. I mean, we were
Y'all
trying,
ghost?
but
As far
y'all
as what?
still.
We do
y'all
ghost,
was still.
though.
Y'all ghost like mother.
But y'all was still
Cast
trying to.
We
you stay with
do.
your mama. I'm out. Well, goddamn, man,
Right.
did you?
Do
I
you
was
have
in
a
college
car?
at the time?
Do
Like,
you-
what we doing?
Do you have a car? Oh no.
Nah,
Ghost.
it's 2019. You boys better start doing that checklist. You stay with your mama. You got a draw that make more than $12 an hour.
Exactly.
What is we? Man, you better match
Come on.
match it.
Right.
That's the best way I honestly can put relationships, and even with dealing with relationships or whatever, wherever you at, whatever stance you on, everybody in this room, anybody watching, you have to make sure you're paying attention to the person you're dealing with. They're matching your effort,
Yeah.
because that's what happens. Sometimes you start, and I think Christina said it. If I'm not mistaken, she was like, "I don't want to be the only one in love."
Speak that.
And I understood where she was coming from, because
Right.
sometimes this the thing though, you have to understand somebody's gonna love the other one more. That's not a bad thing. Sometimes it's just better if the man loves more than the woman, because then the woman doesn't become so irritable to the man, if that makes sense. Like a lot of times what happens is like a dude gets irritated a lot faster with the woman he's dealing with because of her probably caring more than he does at that moment, which
Exactly, I
means
do
she's more
agree on
cleanly,
that.
she's more attentive, she's more caring. So she's putting these things out there, and the fact he's not at the level with her, it becomes irritating. Doesn't mean he doesn't want it. It just means it's agitating his emotions, which makes his chemical. It's like a chemical imbalance, basically. It's like it throws you off. Doesn't mean he doesn't care. It's just saying like, I'm just not there yet. But that goes back to your point system, where it's kind of like, hey, we gotta have these conversations. Where you stand? Where do you see yourself? We don't have those conversations no more. The goals,
Come on.
you know, your ambition. None of these
No, we
things
don't do that
happen.
no more.
And the biggest thing that I really want to put out there, man, and that's me learning, being in this, dealing with dating and having kids, all this shit that has happened. You got to know your partner's background,
That's why I
the
do
way they
background
grew up,
checks.
what they've been through. You have to have those conversations because then you find yourself being with somebody and you setting triggers off and you have no idea you're setting them off.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Y'all arguing, you fighting now. One of y'all over there like, what the fuck is wrong with this person? And then in the midst of it, it's like, well, I had this kind of issue when I was younger, this, that, and the third. So that's very important.
Right. Communication.
No, I literally do background checks. Like,
We're not talking about jail sentences. We talking
no,
about like,
just saying because, oh, shit.
Yeah.
But I literally do that. Just FYI.
so I think last week y'all talked about, well, Valentine's Day. I wasn't home, so I didn't.
So
I didn't.
how was y'all bad times? Due to you was single. Well, you
Yeah.
is single. My bad.
Yeah,
That's Dale was.
You was.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
was
don't know. You
single.
might find somebody
Yeah,
tonight.
it's-
I don't
Toy
know.
say she like my system though. Hey, Toy, I
Yeah.
see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Princess
No,
said preach.
Valentine's Day was good. I was with some friends. We were out in the mountains doing some snowboarding. So that's how I spent Valentine's.
Damn.
I was in
Yeah.
Memphis
Right.
getting that money.
I was here.
That was
Yeah, we were here.
But do y'all believe in online dating? You think you could really
no.
find love
Have you-
on online dating?
Have you
I'm
ever?
gonna let you start, and then
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you think about what you
Yeah,
said.
so this is what I would say. I think it's transitioned from what it used to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in the era of AOL chat days, of Yahoo groups or Yahoo chat and shit like that.
ASL.
I
Yep.
remember
Sex
being
to
in
live.
high school,
Hell,
you know,
on the
coming back
dial-up.
on, or not high school, but college, coming back on vacation, and then taking my car and driving halfway across the state of Texas to meet somebody that I fell in love with online. Right, I remember that shit when I was 19 years
90
old.
Day Fun.
Right.
But and then I still know her, and we're still good friends. Her and her husband and her daughter, like really good people. But I say that to say that online dating has morphed and shifted with Bumbles and Tinders and shit, Facebook and Instagram.
So it's not about love no more. It's all about fuck.
Well, I'm not gonna say it's all about fuck, but what I will say, I think there's opportunity to meet in a way, and we're so much closer now with the
Right.
digital space.
Yeah.
But we've also
a
forgotten what it
handicap.
means to interact with individuals
Man.
on
It
a
is.
person-to-person basis.
It is.
I hate
That's a lost
texting.
art.
Yeah.
Fuck
And
texting.
me and Dale had a conversation with that on one episode about texting and like the way that us
yeah.
talking to people, like we don't know how to like
Facts.
talk, talk
with-
to me on the phone.
With the online dating, the reason why I was messing with you, I wanted to let you finish. When you meet somebody on I think I asked, who did I ask this to? I think it was, I don't know if I put it in a group or whatever. Wouldn't Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat be considered online dating if you
Yes.
meet somebody
Yes.
off of that?
It would be.
So would it?
Perhaps.
It would.
Yeah.
So
I remember meeting someone when
I don't-
MySpace was popping.
I've met. I'm trying to think if
Craigslist
I've ever.
too. Until they had Craigslist.
Right.
killers.
Back
Back
page?
page.
Where you going? Where you going with this? Oh, it is. You are the only one. I was just saying. Shit, I ain't on the.
As you can see, my hands are
Five
up on
five
this
five 1
conversation.
2 3 4. Catch me on
Yeah.
back page. though.
This is me showing that I have nothing to do with the Craigslist back page. I am Deldrick Parker, and I am not a fan of that shit. Nah, I'm playing. But
Was they shut down recently?
yeah, they did get
Yeah.
They
shut down.
probably were.
Yeah, they was.
But no,
It was a prostitute page.
I'm trying. Nah, like he said, the area for us it was dial up. Like, and
Yeah.
I'm impatient with that shit. I ain't got time to be sitting at the goddamn computer. Like, okay, what you doing?
Right.
I see you.
Right. You
right
see the
in-
dots.
And
You
then
see
I
the
see
dots.
that, right?
Yeah.
And you like,
Swipe
then
left,
stop,
swipe
right?
so okay,
Fuck, man.
is it Tinder?
I don't know.
Tinder
I'm not
swiping.
on that.
So
I heard
Tinder
about
and,
the
Tinder
Tinder
is the
and
swipe one,
Bumble.
right?
Yeah.
Tinder and Bumble. I
So
told you I've
laughed
been on
at
all
my
of them.
at my coworker. The reason why it's so funny right now is because when we was in Memphis, my coworker's like, "Man, I'm finna jump on this Tinder shit." I was like, "What?" So he's like, "Man, I'm gonna show you." So he get on the phone. He was like, "Man, look at her." He just kept like going left, 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 and then he would go right. Sometimes I was like, "I'm confused on what you're doing. Like you're not even talking to anybody."
Right.
He's
Yeah.
like, "Man, if I go left, bro, it just means that I'm interested." But how does she know that? Like, Explain this to me.
I don't know, cause
She'll
it
get-
gonna show. It gonna if she liked his picture
That's some
and they like each other picture, they would know.
Right.
That's
it's,
why
it's horrible.
It's so
Hey.
I feel sorry for you guys
Hey.
out there looking for a partner. Like
Hey.
this shit is horrible out here.
Yeah.
Hey,
So we have a question for you, Gary.
All right, what's up?
So, talking about your method,
Sure.
but what happens when she puts a front that she's a 40,
Mm-hmm.
and then when you marry her, and then she's actually really a 20.
Okay.
It comes
So-
out that she's
so-
really a 20.
So here's the thing, right? So first and foremost, for those that are tuned in, we talking about dating and shit. You got to have good discernment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're having intellectual conversations with somebody to ensure that whatever y'all are vibing on or off, that it's legitimate, right?
Vibing.
And over time, you're gonna know somebody's educational status, right? You
Right.
can tell that by their dialect, their tone, their vernacular, things that they use. You're gonna know, you're gonna have conversations which leads to somebody's financial stability and how they handle money. You know what they look like physically, and if you decide to get intimate, you're gonna know what they look like without clothes. So you're getting all the information you need to work through your 50-point matrix. The most difficult part is the psychological, because sometimes you don't know what skeletons people have in closet. Dale, you mentioned triggers and things like that.
Facts.
You don't always know how they handle things logically, right? Until situations occur. So that's why sometimes you got to take that time with people and work through a few different things. And remember, this scale changes over time. It's dynamic. So someone can start at a 32, 33, and they end up a 40 in the next 3 or 4 months. Or they can start at a 42 and drop all the way down to a 29. You got to keep that shit in mind.
So
Right. Shout out to Michael as David.
that's
Yeah,
David.
there it
Okay,
is.
so to answer that, to back up what you said,
Mhm.
you shouldn't even see that part.
Hmm.
People show you who they are up front. They do.
Mhm.
We all do. We all show who we are, what we stand for, right up front.
not really. It's
I've-
like a job
I
interview.
think we do.
It's
It
like
is.
a job interview. You act all, oh my God, yes, I love this and that. You start working, you start, oh,
You talking
fuck
about
this
that
shit.
representative?
Yeah.
I think that's what
It's-
they call it.
it's- But here's the
Yeah.
thing. Okay,
It's
so
like, fuck
so
that shit.
bringing it up, the field that I work in, why in the fuck would I wear polo shirt, slacks, this, that, and the third, and I work in an industry where I wear coveralls outside all day?
Makes sense.
But
To
that's how
me,
you went to your job
it's-
interview?
it's, I went in a t-shirt and jeans. Like, I don't give a shit. You know why? It's reasons why I don't give a shit. That's just irrelevant. Nah, it ain't. It's, trust me, you can, I am me 100%. Like, I give zero fucks about a lot of things. So, back to answering that question. If you allowed her, and the reason why I'm going that route, if you allowed her to put the 40 out there and you see the 20, that's on you.
Right.
Because
Always.
she's showing it.
Right.
But you just like, man, I really like this girl. I'm really into this person. So I'm going to bypass that. I'm cool with bypassing things that are technically unchangeable, meaning we all have flaws. I'm willing to accept a flaw that you can learn. And that's where it kind of like messes up people, where if your particular partner struggles with communication, or they always communicate through yelling.
That's hell.
As a partner, it's your job. If you are an A or whatever, a 10 in that department, that's your job to fix that so your partner can match your shit. But we'll sit back and be like, well, she sucks at communication, so fuck
But
it.
she sucked good.
No, that was not the case
Oh.
whatsoever.
Oh, I thought it was
Oh,
not.
Chanel.
We'll get to that in like 10 minutes. So,
Exactly.
in a sense of, just understanding that your partner has weaknesses and so do
Right.
you. But that's why it's like a yin and yang thing.
Mm-hmm.
Where you low at, I go high. Where I'm low, you go high. But that takes time. We don't want to have patience. We don't want to have understanding.
It's
We
that
get so
Insta.
frustrated
Yeah, why
and
you
be like,
looking
I
my
quit.
way?
I'm not looking at your way. First of all, I'm so used to sitting over there. I'm so fucked
Damn.
up right here.
I understand.
But at the
Sometimes.
end of the day, it's like, I mean, you just, it's not easy. Being in a relationship is easy. It just is how much you want it. Meaning the willing. Like, if you're willing to sit down and talk to your partner, like, I don't mind sitting her down and being like, hey, look, I probably shouldn't have yelled at you because I probably pushed it to this point. So, hey, I'm sorry. a lot of times I seen this video today. I can't quote it 100%, but I'll probably find it and then post it on my Instagram later, where the dude basically broke down how to communicate with women and how women should
I
communicate.
saw
with
that
men.
video.
You seen it?
I saw it.
So
I saw it.
his thing was a lot of times women pay so much attention to like wordplay, which is where the whole, I joke with women all the time, like they have selective hearing. But it's like, if I come in and it's like, I quit my job, da 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 da, which is what he was pointing at. He was like, all she heard was, I quit my job. She didn't hear that shit.
Looking for the safe.
Right. She's
Yes.
looking for the safety net. Where it's like, oh, I'm all in. But how you gonna tell me how we gonna get there? So when
Right.
you learn that, it changes the perspective of the relationship. Now, me on the other hand, I come off extremely stubborn, where it makes you feel like, oh, you can't tell me nothing. But a lot of times it's like I kind of sit back and be like, go ahead and tell me what you have to say so I can take it in from your perspective, because I don't view things the way you do, because I don't have that. Like, I'm a logical thinker. So if I'm not dealing with somebody that's not a logical thinker, I can't get mad at their perspective.
Right.
If they don't literally think things that far. You have people that think about today.
Okay, Reverend.
And then you think about, and you have people that think about tomorrow, and then you have people that's like a year in advance. Like, I'm one of those people that I be having shit set months in advance. Like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that.
Right.
I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go here. But then if my partner's not like sporadic like that in a sense, I have to take a step back and be like, well, how do I get it to the point where I can help you out so we can be on the same page so we can elevate together? You never want to be with somebody and you elevating and your partner not. That's not a
Right.
relationship.
Shout out to what Princess says. A lot of the time, you need to take your time and really get to know a person before commit to setting down / getting married. I'm not going to lie. You will always continue to learn about your partner as you grow together.
Yeah, that makes sense. Shout out to
Facts.
Princess.
Well,
What you
my
got?
last question.
Last?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, kind of, because it might go long. But do
go
y'all
ahead.
believe sex on the first date? Let's go back to. If-
Tag, you're it, Gary. You go first.
So here's the thing. This can go one of two ways, right? I'm not an antagonist, to sex on a first date. I won't necessarily say I'm a proponent of it either. But what I will say is I think it's all about the vibe that you get. It's all about the, what zone you're in with that person, or what are you feeling with that person at that time. Because there's some people that are okay with that, and and it will not diminish the relationship, even though most of the time it does, right? So let's just be honest, right? How many people get married who had sex on the first date in comparison to those who take their time and work through it?
Right.
But
Well.
I can live in both of those spaces. I don't see anything
Right.
wrong with it. I think you just have to be on the same page with your partner.
Yeah.
And
It
if
just-
that's what y'all want to do, fucking do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't quench the spirit. Whatever
Right.
you
yes,
do,
exactly.
don't quench it.
We had this little debate last
What
week.
he
Like,
said. So I'm not. What he said is my answer too. Go ahead.
okay,
But not everything works for everybody. So it might, like you said, it might work. That might work for you, but that won't work for him.
Yeah.
That might work
we
for
was
her.
having
but won't work for
a
her.
debate last week. Is having sex on the first date is the same thing like one night stand?
No.
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 If there's a second date, then it's not a one night stand.
At all.
That's
Like,
So can that first date turn into a one night stand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't
Absolutely.
see them
'Cause,
another
you
time.
know,
More after that.
You
I would
go-
block your
you
ass.
ghost each
if
other.
It wasn't
You
good.
might have had sex with a 19, with an 18, with a sub 20.
Oh,
Then-
they talking
then
about
it's
inches.
ghosting.
I'm like,
Yeah.
hell
Oh yeah, I'm talking about
He
my
said
point
sub
system. I'm not
20.
talking.
He said sub
So
I'm not talking about
20.
18.
I'm like,
first
what?
of all, she over here talking about inches. I'm over here hoping he talking about not age. I'm so disturbed right now.
Yeah.
He did not mean 18 or 19
yeah,
year
they got
olds.
me.
Hey,
Yeah,
they
got me.
legal
Yeah, we're
shit.
not.
We
We're not.
understand.
Absolutely
R. Kelly
not.
and
They
shit.
legal?
We ain't R. Kelly
Now.
no shit over here.
I don't even date under 35. So it's
Shit,
like,
that's
it's
a
hard. Yeah, but yeah, it's about the vibe. It's about what you feel with that person, and if you really have a good feeling and vibe with somebody, that first night sex or first date sex could turn into months or years of sex with that
Okay.
person.
Okay,
Right.
that's understandable.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Now I have
Dale,
a
you
question
sure
for you. Do you believe in that? It was posted on the Facebook. Do you believe in the one, like
Okay.
the one?
Fuck no. So let me say this. The reason why I
Man, I
don't
can't
believe
see
in the
Sorry.
one. Oh, is that it? Oh, hold on.
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. The reason why I don't believe in that shit is because you are always, as a man, we're always having to battle with what society provides for us from a female perspective, right? Society dictates
Put your arm
what
down.
females
Fuck.
should look like, smell like, talk like, and that kind of shit. And so there's this constant competition, and it's hard to really, delineate what works best for you unless you spend time with that person. I don't necessarily think there's the one, but I think that you can find somebody that you're truly compatible with, and y'all can make any goddamn thing work.
Facts.
Do you believe in love at first sight?
I believe.
I know you got that little 50 to 100
I-
to 10 to,
So let
101.
me keep it all the way funky. I believe in fuck at first sight. I believe that there are people that you look at and your level of intimacy for that person
It's just about
is through the fucking roof. And it's not necessarily love, but it's lust.
So it's really no such thing as love at first sight.
I don't believe in that.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
Yeah. Just keeping it a buck. Keeping it a buck, Vivid Vybe. Somebody keep running. We running
Keep
then.
it going. That's what we
Shit,
say.
That's why I do not like to sit with the guests. I can't even do my damn job. We're gonna let the show keep running. We normally stop at a certain point, but this is a good segment, so I'm not gonna cut us short. We're gonna keep it running.
You sure?
Absolutely.
We can always stop for a part two.
Right?
Shit.
Nah, this is
It
part
can
one
always
and
be a
two.
part
Oh,
I know
shit.
that. We got time. What's that extra 15 minutes? What's your other question, Chanel?
Okay. Y'all know I'm a freak, though. So, what about sex toys? Do y'all believe in sex toys? Using on yourself, using on others?
Let's slide this one to you, Dale.
You gonna tag me?
Yeah.
You gotta tag me first. You gotta tag me. All right.
Okay.
Hell yes, you use sex toys. Why not? Do you know? I'm not gonna get in details.
On yourself?
No,
You don't?
absolutely
No?
not.
Interest?
No.
Black bitch?
If she wants to use that, then I'm all for it. Like if she
On
wants,
yourself?
no.
Lord.
Oh, look.
Again, there's no
I'm trying to get
toy
stories right now.
that enters. It's just an exit. Nothing touches that area. But no, I think if you, as a male, I feel like if your partner and she wants to bring toys into the segment, I feel like why not? I mean, the whole purpose of having sex to me is to be pleasured. Correct?
Sure.
I think
Exactly.
we all could agree on that.
I agree.
So if she's cool with bringing into toys or whatever you're into, go for it. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about pleasing your partner. And if you can bring a toy into that situation
Or
to
person.
where, and that's fine. I have no interest in bringing a third party. That's way too much work for Del P. So even way you go, you bring into a toy, I mean, it's just up to pleasing your partner at the end of the day. That's the ultimate goal of having sex anyway. Everybody trying to bust one. So why not bust a great one by bringing in an extra toy if that's what gets her going? Because, I mean, the wetter the water, the better it is. Then I'm just trying to be like real
Back of the
respectable.
berry.
You know, that's the best way I can put it in a respectable manner. Because
Works.
if it's that's what the accomplishment is for me.
So, going back to, I love that scale 50 to 0 type shit.
Mm-hmm.
She's a 40.
Okay.
She wifey material.
Yeah. Talk to
The
me.
fuck ain't right.
So then that would address. So let's keep it a buck, right? So let's say this person is, 7+ in the other 4 categories. The financial, the educational, spiritual, the psychological, but their sex game is whack. So now that's addressing their physical, right? So physically, we've got some sexual issues. So now they may drop out of the 40 because shit, you would need 10s across the board with bad physical to be a 40, but shit, that's heavy, right? So I could not, in all good faith, look at a situation with a woman who drops out of a 40 and be like, yeah, we rolling, unless I've done my true due diligence. But no, I mean, it's a case by case scenario when you talk about women and sex and pleasure, because we've all been there as a man.
Exactly.
We've all had great women who
I
were
understand
great
your
in the
man.
bed. It was like, no.
Will you date a virgin?
Exactly.
Well, you said would I date a
So-
virgin?
Will you date a virgin?
I don't-
Like,
Oh,
It's a lot of.
No.
So
I've turned down
I mean,
a couple of virgins.
Well, I wouldn't.
because she's a perfect woman. She's like,
That's not a perfect
Would I
woman.
date a
Because you're
virgin?
virgin
It's
does not make you
and no
perfect.
Yeah.
such thing as a perfect woman.
Would I
Okay,
date a
Yeah.
virgin?
understandable.
That's why she becomes your
There's
wife.
no perfect woman or perfect
Because
man.
I'm not going to ask you if
My
you're a
wife
virgin.
is perfect. The day I get married, she's perfect. That's why I married her.
I don't know
But
about
I'm
that.
just saying, like,
Shit.
Stay where you at, then. Shit,
I'm
it
just
is what it
saying,
is.
like,
I married my wife.
will
Hey,
you
she
marry
is
her
perfect to
without
me.
fucking her first?
I've done it. Like
Blasphemy.
at this okay, let's do this. Let's do this.
Blasphemy.
Yes.
Let's do this. So
I'm
Get
just
a
saying,
sound effect for
Because
that
there's a lot
shit.
of people out there as a virgin, be like, I can't find a man, or
We
I
not-
can't find
I'm
a,
not marrying
a woman
and I haven't had sex.
because
That's not happening.
I mean I'm on your team
Oh
on that
my
one too.
I'm not
I
against
got a damn kid
my
now. so-
my perspective was not against. If that's your but that's
It
matching.
works for other. It doesn't
Yeah,
work for
like,
everybody.
If
Yeah.
that's what it is, then that's what it is.
Right.
Like, oh well, you're a virgin, this, that, and the third. All right, cool. Like, we can't. I'm not. I've literally in high school, I've ran across. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm not fit to be that guy.
I mean,
You
as
ran
Because
them in high
if
school.
you take somebody's
They better be a
virginity-
virgin in high school.
If you take somebody's virginity,
perhaps.
Yeah, that's true.
that's per se sacred.
Mm-hmm.
So
Is
a
it?
lot of times from a woman's perspective, and this is not saying that is right. You know, you could really the first person to deal with a woman having sex sets the standards in the bar for every other guy after that.
That's
To
true
a
because
certain-
that's
not,
when women
not,
turn
not
to
saying that's a fact.
lesbians.
What I'm saying is
That's when they
this.
turn to lesbians because the shit wasn't
Okay,
good.
I feel like
They
we
just
like,
better get licked on.
wait the
Right,
fuck off. To answer the original question was dealing with somebody and their sex
And the
not
sex is
being
bad.
That's
That's-
the fucking question.
It's very
So
difficult.
to answer that, that's one of those teachable moments though, because you saying it's like, oh, well, her sex whack. Well, how do you know how she been having sex for the years before that? Because she could have dealt with a dude who had sex with her and never kissed her, or had sex with her. Like it's certain
never
things you're
had
supposed to
oral
do
sex.
during sex that initiates or
Well,
makes
she's
sex
got hang-ups.
great.
Let's say she's got hang-ups. There's
Yeah,
certain
you
things
can't
he's
just
like,
jump in that thing
Yeah.
and be like, it's trash. That's your fault.
Right.
Like if the woman isn't in that area where it's like
Shit.
extremely moist, that's on you, dude.
well,
Or you
may-
could jump
And
on
that goes
in.
back.
What
That goes
You
back
jump
to
on
play
in.
is so fucking
communication.
important.
or maybe not, because who are we to dictate a woman's body, right? So that woman may not be the type to get extra moist. I've been with women who were very,
gotta
on that
spit
side.
down
I've been
there a
with
couple
women
times.
who were not, and so that just really depends.
Wherever you just jump on in, it's like an open hole. Will
No,
you
that
still
sound
be
like
with her?
rape. No.
Wait,
Don't just
what?
jump in
That
that.
goes back
open
to
hole.
that
This
goes
is an
back
open
to
hole.
you
You just
communicating.
like
That is
a
rape.
big old hole. You be like,
That's rape.
I'm fine
That goes
through
back
here.
to
What
That
the
is
hell?
rape.
How
Okay.
is rape?
You can't just jump in that thing like,
No, I'm
dude.
just saying.
Yo.
You tearing up her insides,
No,
ripping
you don't get
walls.
what I'm saying.
Hell
She
no.
had so many dicks to the point it just slide on in.
That
They
means
just
she has
open hole.
no walls.
I've dated a woman like that before.
Oh my goodness.
How did you feel about that situation? Like this bitch been with a whole bunch of niggas.
I wasn't concerned with that
Oh.
but what I was concerned with was it was just unenjoyable, right? It was just y'all fucking crazy. It was unenjoyable, to say
Oh, like-
the least.
Wow.
You know how
Well.
it bro.
No.
But to me, I think it goes back to your communication, to what you need from, even sexually, what you need from your partner. So
Yeah.
if it's something that they're doing that you don't like, you need to let them know. If
Yeah.
it's something that you're doing that there's something they're doing that you do like, you need to let them know. So
You
either
know,
way.
I had a question asked. I'm sorry to cut you off, Misha. It's just a question just asked to me exactly yesterday. That was like, what happened? I don't know what he was asking for himself or whatever, but he was like, what happened? You married, but the sex ain't right. If I go out and mess around with somebody else, would they consider cheating?
Okay.
You wanna? I'm like, yeah, nigga.
No, you got it.
Boy, you've been running away from questions.
No, I'm trying to be.
He's been answering
them.
them. He's been answering
The
them.
way the guest works, you answer questions.
I'm trying to have good
First of all,
balance.
you making me talk way more than I normally do on this show.
No shit.
Absolutely. I don't do. All I do is
I'm
spit
just
knowledge,
saying,
get the fuck
like-
up out of here. To answer your question, let's stop this narrative now. I don't want to hear nothing about what if you deal with somebody and then y'all get married and then it's this.
I
you
got this
knew
question
the
yesterday.
shit, but no, they knew the shit was there way before
Okay,
they married
let
the
me-
person.
let
Like,
me-
I don't.
Because there's a lot of
Let me
things that
stop that
it's
part right there.
That's-
you put
Yeah,
blinders
what-
on. You put
No, okay,
blinders
let me
on.
say this.
What you
The
saying?
sex is good, but it's something that he like to do. She don't want to do it. So he's saying, can I get it from someone else?
So basically, she doesn't do oral sex.
No, she do that.
But whatever.
But-
Whatever it is.
But she don't like her
then-
ass to get A, but he like doing that shit. That's how we gonna go out there with it.
Okay, that's fine.
So-
So
Wow.
that's cool. To reel it in, PG a little bit. So let me ask you this. So this one little thing, and I call it little because it really ain't that fucking important. This one little deal defines your entire marriage. Nothing about providing, loving, caring, understanding, communicating. You know, all these situations.
Sometimes a freak just want to be a freak.
That doesn't. But that okay. But what does it do?
And so
Lose interest behind that one particular thing.
you know, here's the thing, man. People are individuals, you know,
Facts.
and certain things that are important to one person could be minuscule to somebody else, and we can't necessarily judge. If you're not happy sexually and it's that one thing, then there needs to be a conversation, because y'all are a team at that point. Y'all are a unit.
Right.
So there needs to be a compromise. I'm not saying that it needs to go one person's way or the other, but there should be a meet in the middle at some point. And there has to be solid and concise communication to make that shit happen. That's just what it is. Now, should you throw the baby away with the bathwater? Hell no.
Yeah.
Because if you in a goddamn relationship, you done went this far to put a relationship together, then now you don't want to throw the whole goddamn thing away.
Yeah,
However, that if that's a true issue for you and you knew that going into this, trust and believe that small issue will become grandiose over time. So address that shit as soon as possible.
And you know, I got a lot of questions, but
It's up to you.
going
do the
back
after
to
show.
I believe what was it Princess?
Princess,
I got
yes,
this
that's
one.
what
Princess
she
said.
It's my
Show?
Back to what
Fine.
Princess said about the
Oh.
if you're not married, you single.
That's real rap.
But
But what?
like how?
What do you mean how?
Like
single?
how you single and you in a relationship, but you single.
Yeah. So, and I think we look
Okay,
at
you got it.
I got this. So we look at things, you know, from a holistic perspective. I'm single according to my taxes. I'm single according to my household and how shit's been split. Like there are positions and reasons why I am single. However, if I'm gonna date someone and pull in exclusivity, then I am going to date this person and only this person. We're going to have a goddamn conversation about it. So I'm
Okay.
dating this person and I'm exclusive with this person. Am I married yet? No, I'm not. I'm still single, but I'm dating exclusively. I'm not going to entertain anybody else.
Okay.
That's pretty much how I position a conversation.
So that answers toy question. You're
Yeah.
not single, but you single.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
single. But that's why I said, like, when the people are like, well, you in a relationship, this, that, that's why the answer really is, if you're dealing with somebody, just be like, hey, I'm spoken for. That's really the best way to answer it.
Yeah.
You coming out and saying, hey, I'm spoken for, settles all that. Meaning, hey, me and this person might not be together, or we figuring things out, or we were together. Whatever the case may be, it settles that. Hey, I'm spoken for.
And that's your term? I'm spoken for? Spoken
Yeah,
for?
you are.
That's
I'm
some
spoken
medieval,
for.
That's some medieval shit.
Bullshit.
I am spoken
Now,
for.
You first
My
of all,
master at home.
Now, this guy.
The whip
First of
is
all,
at
I'm
home.
finna get on your ass. You gonna try that shit, Gary?
You can't
Spoken.
say
Gary gonna
I'm
sit
in
there
a-
and say, well, and then nobody caught it. He literally just said he's exclusively dating, meaning you're not single because you're not capable.
That was an example.
But
I'm not
you're-
exclusively dating.
Oh, okay,
anybody.
that's what I thought
No,
you
no,
said.
no,
I was
that
like,
an-
hell no.
That was an
Example.
example.
See?
I'm saying if I'm exclusively
We trying to
dating.
Yeah.
sex like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
woman.
no, I'm not exclusively dating anybody.
Then that okay, therefore,
He's single.
That's
single.
my status.
no, it's single. I don't.
He's single. It's like
You know, like-
he black, but he ain't black. You know what I'm saying? He black, but he not
this
black,
shit
black.
up.
I'm black.
But he black. You know what I'm
Gary,
saying?
as usual, we close this shit out with a nice, whatever you want to say to the people out there, and you know what
Positive
today,
note.
just leaving on a positive note. Misha had to exit for the minute, so
Yeah.
we're gonna shut it down.
Yeah, I would tell people to pick up my book, 50-Point Matrix, but I don't have a fucking book.
Oh,
but I
it's
might need to
okay,
write one.
Charlamagne.
I know, right? I might.
Hey, he threw me off because I was like, well,
Yeah, you should have the book. Yeah, have the book with. I don't have a fucking book, but I'm considering putting one together because people keep asking me about this shit and they like, oh, that shit actually works. That shit's kind of sound.
yeah, it
I
is.
might need to put
It's
the shit
dope.
together. But I,
10
you know,
pages.
first and foremost,
New York best.
and you You know what I'm saying? So thank y'all so much for putting me on. If I had to leave
Always.
you all with some positive words, you know, when it comes to relationships, man, do your due diligence with the people that you with. Don't fucking be shy. Be upfront, be honest, and be as communicative as fucking possible. Ain't shit worse than being led on by somebody or being in something that really isn't what it's supposed to be.
Man.
That shit is hell. So be 100 with the people you with. Show the love, give the love. Don't take your baggage from one relationship to the next. Keep it 100. That's all I got for the folks.
Mish, what's your last note for the night?
Again, I said this last week. If you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love somebody else?
You better
Okay.
do that. 2 snaps. 2
Miss
snaps.
Lovely
Okay.
Chanel,
That's
what you
mine.
gonna
Such a
close us
soldier
out
over there
with,
type shit.
girl?
Yeah.
Fall in love first, and then fuck later. Good night, everybody.
That's some Dan Rather shit.
I gotta go out.
Yes.
Shit, I didn't think.
You was surprised? Oh, you was gonna
Yeah,
say the same thing?
Hell
I knew
no,
that.
girl.
Two
we
minds
never
think
on-
alike.
Absolutely not.
Oh,
I don't really have one. I'm really exhausted. So, best thing I can say is, I'm sorry that I wasn't home for Valentine's Day. This is
night.
Vivid Vybe. Thank y'all for watching. Good night.
And we out. Great show, B.